9th CBSE. The same lesson that we call the nature of data. Today we are going to discuss about the third type of solution, that is called suspension. Is this word is new for you? I don't think so. Most of the places you heard this word. I'm going to remind you. You know about various medicine bottles, some syrups, cough syrups especially that you used at the time of any type of the throat infection, or any other medicine which is used for the kids, the infant babies. Must look at carefully. On that bottles it is mentioned, shake well before use. Shake well before use. Use करने से पहले हिला लीजिए. Why we have to shake well before use? Because all the medicine get deposited in the bottom. Because the state of that medicine is the suspension. So suspension is third type of solution. First is the true solution, second is the colloidal solution, and third one is the suspension. So suspension is the third type of the solution. And what is the peculiarity of suspension? In the suspension, the solid particle, the particle is the size of the particle, it's too big. So we are able to saw it with the help of our normal eye. So what is the suspension? It is heterogeneous. It is heterogeneous mixture or solution, heterogeneous solution in which size of particle or particles are quite bigger as we are able to see it with the help of by our eyes. So this type of the solution is called suspension. Okay, I already told you whatever the example of the suspension, any syrup on which this caption is mentioned that shake well before use, it's actually the suspension. Or the muddy water is called the suspension. So that is the example of the light, to transfer the light. So we are unable to say it here. Okay, but what happened here? Same torch we are going to use here also. When we follow the light here, the light is clearly visible like this. Similarly here also. This light is clearly traveled from that. This is called the scattering of light. Solution is unable to scatter the light, but colloidal solution and suspension is able to scatter the light. This is the scattering of light. Now we are going to discuss solution, colloidal solution and suspension. For that you have to make 4 columns. I am going to draw the 4 columns here. 3 and 4. Okay, this is the 4 column. First is called the properties. Second is called true solution, or it is commonly called the solution. This is colloids or colloidal solution, and this is called suspension. Okay, we have to compare the property of these 3. First is about the nature. What is the nature of solution? Solution is homogeneous in nature. Homogeneous in nature. You must write in your copy. I am writing in the short form, homogeneous. What about the colloid? It is heterogeneous. What about the suspension? It is also heterogeneous. This is the first property. Now we compare the second property. What about the second property, that is size of particle? Size of particle. As we know that the size of particle is smaller in solution and bigger in suspension, and the size of the particle is in between in colloids, it is in between the solution and the suspension. Now what is the size of the particle in solution? The size of the particle in solution is 10 to the power minus 9 nanometer. Now what is the size of the particle in colloid? It is near about 10 to the power minus 7 nanometer. And what about here? It is more than 10 to the 7 nanometer. Above 10 to the power 7 nanometer. Okay, we are going to compare it more than, okay, not nanometer, you must take in the meter. Meter, then meter and meter. So the size of particle is varied in different form. Okay. Now what is the comparison of third? That is the clarity. Okay, how much clear the substance is. Clarity. When we visualize it, when we are going to see how we can identify by seeing, by visualizing it. Clarity. In clarity, solution is a clear solution. It is transparent. Transparent, it means clear. Clear in the visibility. It is clear. Transparent, it is clear. It is generally transparent. Generally transparent. No, we are unable to say transparent. It is linear about translucent. Okay. Generally transparent, or actually generally transparent. But somehow it is hazy, and haziness is called a translucent. But what about this? This is only always opaque. It is always opaque. All this term you are already learned in class 8. Transparent, translucent and opaque. You know very well what is this term is. Now next is the filtration. Filtration. What about the filtration? It is a physical process and it passes through filter paper. Pass through filter paper because it is so small in nature. Filter paper. Okay. What about the colloid? Colloid also pass through filter paper. Pass through filter paper. In early morning, your mother take the milk from milkman with the help of the filtration only. There is no substance which is deposited on the filter. The chenna on that part. There is no milk material is remain there. So it is also passed through the filter paper. But what about the suspension? It do not pass through the filter paper. Do not pass. It is settled down through filter paper. We are able to collect it on the filter paper. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points are there. Okay, we must discuss a few more points. Fifth point is the visibility. Visibility. Okay, it is invisible, not visible. Not visible even by the microscope. Not visible by, even by, not the by, even by microscope. That is, we are unable to see by our eye, but we are unable to see with the help of microscope also. But what happened here? It is visible not by the eye, visible only by microscope. Only by microscope. But what happened here? It is clearly visible by our eye. Visible by our eyes. Okay. One more property we are going to take. That is the stability. Stability. Okay. It is stable. purely stable. It is somehow stable. It means we know that it is stable, but actually it is not unstable. Stable, but the stability must be different. Differentiate stable, but the stability must be differentiated by one process that is called the centrifugation. I already told you, your mother is able to remove the butter from the milk, and the removing of butter from the milk is called the centrifugation. So it is stable only when the centrifugation is not going on, only in the absence of centrifugation. So there's no need to write this much. Okay, must write simply that it is quite stable. It is purely stable. It is quite stable. But what about this? It is unstable. It is unstable. So this is the comparative study of the solution or true solution, colloidal solution and suspension.